The ancient ruins of Sol System had been declared a forbidden zone for so long that many younger species doubted they had ever existed at all. Most believed the quarantine was merely another inexplicable decree from the Galactic Council, like the prohibition on developing certain technologies or the mandatory annual tribute to the Ascended Ones. Few remembered the true reason that something terrible had happened in that unremarkable yellow star system 40 millennia ago. Something that had permanently altered the rules of interstellar governance. Archaeologist Zinvaal of the Mersenne Collective had spent her entire 300-year career fighting for permission to enter the quarantine zone. Her species, with their crystalline neural networks and precisely calculated risk assessments, seldom produced individuals with her level of obsessive curiosity. But something about the mystery of humanity called to her. "Your petition has been denied for the 14th time," her academic supervisor informed her, multifaceted eyes reflecting disappointment. "The Council will not risk disturbing what lies dormant there, regardless of potential historical significance." Zinvaal's crystalline appendages vibrated with frustration. "The humans have been gone for 40,000 years. Whatever destroyed them is long past any danger to us. We've recovered fragments of their transmissions, their primitive spacecraft, even their genetic material. But without access to their home system, we'll never understand who they truly were." "Perhaps that is for the best," her supervisor replied. "The Ascended Ones have decreed." "The Ascended Ones fear human memory," Zinvaal interrupted, committing academic sacrilege. "Why else would they maintain a quarantine on empty space for 40 millennia?" That conversation marked the end of her academic career and the beginning of her criminal one. It took 7 years to acquire a ship capable of bypassing the automated security systems that patrolled the edge of Sol System, another 3 to forge the necessary credentials and assemble a crew desperate or curious enough to join her. Mercenaries, mostly, along with a few scientific outcasts like herself, all drawn by the promise of discovering why the most powerful beings in the galaxy still feared the ghost of a long-dead species. They entered the system cautiously, sensors extended. Sol System had been devastated by something catastrophic. The inner planets were completely gone. Mercury, Venus, and Earth itself reduced to scattered debris fields. Mars remained, though half its mass had been carved away by some unimaginable force. The gas giants drifted in altered orbits, their moons scattered like abandoned toys. "What kind of weapon could do this?" whispered Krell, her navigator, mandibles clicking nervously. "No weapon we know of," Zinvaal replied, studying the readings. "According to the historical fragments, humans never developed technology capable of this level of destruction. Something else happened here. For months, they surveyed the shattered system, collecting samples and scanning the debris fields for artifacts. The radiation signatures were unusual, not consistent with any known form of energy weapon or natural disaster. Whatever had destroyed Earth had operated on principles beyond current scientific understanding. Then, on what would have been the last day of their expedition, they found it. A small, nondescript probe drifting in a precise, calculated orbit around the remains of Earth. Its design was simple, almost primitive by galactic standards, yet it had survived where planets had not. "It's transmitting," said Tila, her communications specialist, ears swiveling in surprise. "Has been for 40,000 years on a narrow band frequency that wouldn't reach more than a light year. It's almost like it was waiting for someone to come looking," Zinvaal finished. "Can you decode it?" "It's not encoded," Tila replied, sounding perplexed. "It's being broadcast in 3,000 different languages, repeating in sequence, including 17 still in use." The message was brief, just 7 words in most translations. But as Zinvaal heard it, her crystalline structure resonated with an emotion her species rarely experienced. "Or, they're still out there," the message said, "and we will find you." Further examination of the probe revealed more historical records encoded in its memory banks, a comprehensive account of humanity's final days. The force that had destroyed Earth hadn't been a weapon at all. It had been the Ascended Ones, the very beings that now ruled the galaxy with near-divine authority. In their early days of expansion, before they had achieved their current exalted status, the Ascended Ones had encountered humanity, and they had recognized in these primitive, short-lived beings a potential that terrified them. Not technological superiority. Humans had been centuries behind even then, but something else. A drive, an adaptability, a stubborn refusal to accept limitations that the cold equations of the universe tried to impose. The historical records told how the Ascended Ones had struck first, attempting to eliminate humanity before they could spread beyond their home system. They had used weapons of unimaginable power, weapons since forbidden throughout the galaxy, tearing apart the very fabric of space-time around Earth. But they had been too late. Humanity had already sent out generation ships, seed colonies, cryptobiotic arcs, hundreds of them, scattered in all directions, many using experimental propulsion systems that made them impossible to track. A desperate diaspora, triggered not by foreknowledge of the attack, but simply by humanity's relentless drive to explore and expand. The message wasn't a remnant, it was a promise. When Zinvile's ship attempted to leave Sol System, they found their way blocked by a fleet of Ascended Ones vessels, sleek golden craft of impossible geometry. "You have violated quarantine and accessed forbidden knowledge," came the transmission. "The penalty is dissolution." Zinvile felt no fear as the golden ships surrounded them. Instead, she found herself laughing a sound her crystalline body had never produced before. "It won't matter," she replied. "You can destroy us, but the truth will spread. Humanity outsmarted you once, and their descendants are still out there, still evolving, still adapting. For 40,000 years, you've ruled through fear and false divinity. How long do you think that will last, once the galaxy learns what we now know?" The Ascended One's ships opened fire, their weapons reducing Zinvile's vessel to its component atoms. But by then, she had already transmitted her findings to every scientific outpost in range. Within days, the message had spread across the galaxy, a wildfire of revelation that could not be contained. And somewhere in the vast darkness between stars, descendants of humanity received the signal they had been waiting for, proof that the ancient enemy still existed, still feared them, and could still be found. The message that had waited 40,000 years had finally been delivered. The hunt could begin.